Hello, everybody. This is LifeVisor Kent with LifeVisorServices .com. So I'm doing a video series for LES for Men, Life Visor Services for Men. And what I'm trying to do is kind of talk about subjects that were kind of difficult, probably emotionally and mentally, that some guys encounter. And one of the biggest one is talking to a woman, asking a woman out, and hopefully this will also develop some lifelong ability to enhance your communication. It's used in CBT and a lot of other things that at Life Advisories we talk about, but we're only going to apply it to maybe kind of things that kind of men are dealing with, kind of things that I know I've struggled with, and I know some, the other males that I've talked to that have struggled with over the years, and kind of bring a process to you and a way to look at certain subjects, and hopefully kind of help you maybe with that mental mindset that you need to handle and getting rid of that toxic thinking. So if you hopefully you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Always subscribe. We've got any questions at any time, send us an email, make a comment below. Well, we're always here to kind of help, and if you ever have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out. And we'll put all our resources and everything where you can contact us out in the About section. So let's get started. So if you didn't see our first one, it was about ABC. To asking a woman out and communicating. This is the next part in this series, being assertive with a woman. How to be assertive with not being aggressive. What does that mean? Well, one of the key strategies to asking a woman out with the CBT, which is kind of what we mainly deal with here at Life Advisory Services, is to be assertive. And let's get this straight right away. It's not being aggressive. It doesn't mean you forcefully kind of wedge your way in there, making them feel so uncomfortable that they're going to give you maybe what you're requesting at that moment. Being assertive kind of means respecting yourself as well as the other person. Too many times, think about it in your life or in my lifetime, that you met somebody that's really respectful of themselves. Not too often are they disrespectful to other people. A lot of people, when they got the low self-esteem, when they don't feeling very good about themselves, that's when they are probably projecting a lot of ugly, toxic things to other people. And so that's why we're going to get rid of that toxic, negative thinking. We're going to, talk about throughout the series, but please go back and watch the ABC of how to ask a woman out. And also, too, if you want to go a little more in depth, look at some of our other videos with Life Advisory Services. So, I want to go over it once again. Respect yourself as well as the other person. That's going to go a long way. And that's a good way to kind of set the table of what you need to do in order to kind of have that opportunity to talk and meet with somebody new. This kind of series kind of pointing it towards women, but could be, like I said in some of the other videos, it could be a job interview or just somebody that a business situation, and you need to kind of start building a relationship. These are all good methods for any of those situations that you're in. Being respected. You have the right to be treated with respect when you're respectful. Like I said before, we don't know too many people that are kind of really respectful that don't respect themselves. It's always, it's a two-way street. And remember, you are as important as any person or woman you're asking out or you're talking with. And what that means is your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts are just as important as the other person that you're trying to communicate with, or the person that you are currently communicating with. It's all good philosophies I can think to have in order to, have a good, healthy relationship with anybody. So there you are. You're being respectful. You're doing everything right. Well, she just respects you back. Kind of like earlier we were saying that you may be out with some friends. You see an attractive woman. You see a woman that kind of piques your interest, and you want to talk to her. Maybe you want to ask her out, or maybe you want to get her phone number or just start a conversation. And probably if you've tried to talk to enough women and maybe act them out, you're going to get disrespected, where they're going to try to make fun of you. They're going to try to put you down. But that's a good thing. And the reason I say that is because that kind of, pre-qualifies them. Do you really want to have that as a future wife, girlfriend, or even or just a friend in general, a person that you want to hang around with? I don't think so. So I think it's kind of a good thing. I know at the time it's hard for when anybody gets criticized or judged, especially when you're putting yourself out there. But that goes back to about when we got to try to mentally visualize about what we're going to do and how we're going to handle these things. So in the last video, we talked about when you visualize something. Well, you want to visualize all the positive, but too, hey, I asked somebody out, they got real ugly with me. How am I going to deal with it? And always remain respectful. I know it is hard. So if somebody's disrespecting you, the first thing you want to do is come back and be disrespectful for you. But you don't know. Maybe 20 minutes later, you're going to meet, bump into, talk to another person that you're interested in. Well, if you stay in that negative mindset, one, it's probably going to ruin your evening, ruin your day, or you might even, ruin a couple of days because you're going to go home and that's what you're going to focus on. Well, that's why we say always remain respectful. You back off and just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, apologize." You take the high road. Nothing is going to benefit you from trying to get it with the other person. And that can kind of go for any kind of relationship or any issue or problem you're having, especially if you're at the DMV or something like that. I know personally. So it's always hard, but in order to be successful and to move on with your night, your next day, always try to stay positive. You have the right to make a mistake. You have the right, in a respectful way, in a safe manner, to talk to somebody else, a stranger, an adult. When you are doing the right things, but maybe you say something wrong because you're nervous, you may be scared, you're anxious, you got a lot of feelings going on. I know I did when I try to talk to somebody new and somebody that I may possibly be interested in, and you're going to say the wrong thing maybe. And the best thing to do is hopefully you're going to say, that came out wrong. That's not really what I meant. And be honest. I'm just a little nervous. I'm kind of, I very attractive. And sometimes when I get excited, I kind of will say the wrong thing. Please don't hold it against me. And it goes back to, if she is critical of that and she is judgmental, what she's going to be like if you do start, and the next word would be dating, or if you go along and you get married. If every time you make a mistake and she's that critical and she's not realizing and putting herself in your position, and she's just looking at how to humiliate you, make fun of you, and put you down, I don't think that's somebody that you'd really be interested in trying to have a long-term relationship. Even if she looks like your dream girl, she physically has everything you want, you're going to be living in a living hell, even if it did work out, even if you kept pushing with it. So one of the things, when we go back to that visualization of, imagine a woman asking you out, and if she messed up, how would you handle it? Would you be gracious? Even maybe if you're not interested, would you be able to say, "Hey, I appreciate it. Oh, no problem. I've also done the same thing." Or maybe because they're not your type or whatever, are you the type of person that's going to try to belittle them and put them down? Well, if you're that type of person, you probably should just quit listening now, turn it off, and, I can't really help you with your life anyways. But if you really are somebody that can try to remain non-judgmental in some very awkward situations, then that's going to help you. So when you are in that awkward position, that on how to deal with it. So you have a right to make a mistake. And guess what? You are going to make mistakes. I make mistakes, especially when you're trying to communicate and talk to somebody. And even if you're naturally nervous and anxious, that makes it harder. And that's going to push those mistakes out there in the forefront. So one, by visualizing, doing the things we're talked about in the ABC, and by just kind of preparing yourself, I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm going to get over it, and it's going to make me better. Because that means it's just one more time that I had a chance and opportunity to make my communication game better. And just kind of bring it full circle again, being assertive with women. How to be assertive but not aggressive. And it's a judgment call because sometimes you do have to chase a little bit. Sometimes you do have to be assertive. But when the signs are there and it's a no, and you're not getting the feedback to tell you that this person would like to pursue the conversation or get to know you a little better, you got to be able to step back. I know a lot of guys and probably a lot of the dating things, they got to be aggressive and you got to keep, trying and trying. But then it goes back to, with somebody that's not open to you on the front end, somebody that can't be honest and communicate honestly with you, and you kind of got to go, I guess the thing, you got to play the games. Well, is that somebody you want to be with, honestly? And I don't think so. So hopefully, you guys have getting some knowledge from, what we're talking about here. Hopefully it's going to kind of, next time you go out and talk to somebody, it's going to help you communicate better. We're going to be assertive and not aggressive, and love to hear the comments below, especially if you went out and tried this. We're always available for one-on-one contacts, and below is going to be a lot of our information, and I'm going to keep doing video series on this. I got another one coming up very soon with LAS for men, and always love to hear your feedback. Have a great day.